What's going on, everybody? What's going on? So, I'm on my way home. I'm so exhausted. Yes, Symphony. Yes, baby. Yes, my sweets. Yeah, so like I said, look, y'all, I'm so tired right now. This is just basically random talk. So I just got finished just speaking to my grandmother, right? I always, I really love going around my Nana because we just talk about a lot of stuff. And so I was showing her on my phone because she's from Louisiana, but she's from the sticks. Like, she was born in Bogalusa, Louisiana. So we were talking about homestead land, and I was trying to Google map. You know how you what is it? Not Google map, but when you can see it satellite. And so we was, because she hasn't been in a while. Excuse me. Excuse me. So it was funny because she was able to see it on my phone, like the certain dirt roads. But what was so interesting, and this is just a little history, was that my great 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 grandparents, they got roads named after them down there. Are you doing this on purpose, Stephanie? Are you doing this on purpose? Because every time I talk, you start talking loud. So anyway, it was interesting to kind of talk to her and see. And Tiffany saw some light bulbs today, so that was really interesting. But we were sitting up there talking because back in the 90s, my grandmother went down to Louisiana to kind of do her family tree history. And what she found, she said she was at a graveyard. Excuse my little one in the background. She was at the graveyard from early in the morning till late at night. And she said that her foot kind of went into someone's grave, and she kind of sunk down. I'm like, oh my goodness, Nana. And then she says, oh, and when you're back in the woods, those, it's so old and country back there, anything can happen. Settle down. She said but one of her great aunts, there was a big what to do because when some people went to visit the grave, you could see the dress. I said, oh my gosh. You could see the dress of her dress in the grave, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And she was like, what? When it's back in the, if an earthquake happened, anything can happen, but when you got graves that's so old, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Nana, like, oh my goodness. So it was just interesting. We were just sitting there, we were talking about certain stuff, but I'm so happy that my grandmother did do our family tree, and she did history on her people, and she was able to speak to me about her grandmother, which was Georgiana Wilson, and she would tell me tales about her. I never even met my great 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 grandmother, but I know a lot about her because of the things that my grandmother has told me. I just find it very interesting, how she talked about Louisiana, how things were back then, and she has 3 living cousins. I think everybody's just about dead and gone on my grandfather's side, but on my grandmother's side, she has 3 living cousins, and it really, when you look at things, especially those that are getting older, like your grandparents and stuff, you remember them in their youthful day. I mean, they weren't like old now. I think my grandmother is very well in shape because she had my mother when she was young. So a lot of people used to mistake my grandmother for my aunt. But it's still interesting because it's like How do you feel when like everyone around you is passing away, you know? And you only have 3 living relatives. Well, not 3 living relatives, but 3 cousins that you know of from then. And then, I started to think about this. And y'all, this is just basically random talk. I started thinking about like the new houses that are coming up. And some of the houses that I've been seeing on the market, you can tell that a person passed away, or they must have downsized from a house to senior citizen living, because it just looks like the era of 1960, 1970. Well kept home, but you can tell they no longer need the house anymore. You're starting to see more and more houses that are very well kept, but you can tell that this was an older person that was here. And then you start to think, like, when you start talking about people graveyards, these people were here, they lived, and they went on to be with the Lord, or wherever which way they went, and the graves are literally just bones. But when she said her dress, you could see her dress, the person's dress in the graveyard. I said, oh my gosh. But she said she called down and made sure that the people who worked the grounds took care of that. I said, oh my goodness, this is just so, like, really. But yeah. Another thing too, y'all, that was very interesting to me that I was looking up today. I was looking up information on B17. And I know you say, what's B17? Well, B17 is it's a vitamin from the apricot seed. And what I was doing now, I'm gonna have to upload this, but one of our close co-workers found out that they were diagnosed with cancer and stuff. I knew about this years ago, but I think I forgot about it, but I decided to do some research on it. Well, B17, which is from the apricot seed, it has I'm going to say it wrong, so I'm not even going to say it. But it has these 2 things inside of it that literally kills cancer. But what's so amazing about it, they talked about what's beneficial about eating apricot seed, but you can barely get it. And B17, it's like as if it's illegal in the USA. And I'm like, why is it illegal? It's illegal because they don't want people to start using it, because then they'll realize that it'll mess up their whole $1 trillion industry of the chemo and all of this other stuff. And I said, you know what? The devil is just so wicked. He wants you to die. He don't even want you to have, the antidote is like right in front of you. And I'm like, it's so wicked. So of course I'm like, you know what? I wanna be healthy. I got this baby girl back here. Nobody's getting any younger. And even if you are young, look, the way your diet is, y'all don't even know what real chicken tastes like. Well, I don't eat meat anymore. But remember back in the day when you ate real chicken that didn't have any hormones or anything added to it? It was just the taste was different. Fish, the taste was different. A real apple, an apple that you used to get for like 20 cents, maybe a nickel. Now they charge you $3 for that one apple. And they make so much money off of it. So if you never heard of it, it's called B17, not B12, not B5. It's called B17. And when you Google it, you'll see right next to it, a cancer cure. You'll see it's illegal. Why is it illegal? Why can't I? They literally did it. And I said, this is some crazy stuff. And a lot of people are not hip to it. The first thing they do is they go and they get chemo and all this other crazy stuff. So I was listening to the documentary of that. Then I was also I had been looking around for looking around at certain properties and stuff like that. Just seeing what's out there. Yeah, it was this beautiful house, but it was like way out there, like an hour away from my job. But this is a gorgeous house. The price is right, but I think some of those houses that's so far out there, you still have to use propane and all that to heat up the house. I'm like, my grandmother like stay away from that type of stuff. So I'm like, whatever. But I was telling one of the ladies about this, right? And she was like, girl, you don't want to go out there, the KKK out there. I said, what? So I just visualized, I'm like, people be trying to act like racism don't exist. But now that I went ahead and Googled it, and sure enough, they are out there. I'm like, see, people be trying to act like racism don't exist. But it's stuff like that where, as a black woman, you got to think very hard. You ain't even got to think hard. KKK, okay. They still walking around in sheets. Never mind. Never mind. And I was thinking to myself too, I got a black dog too. Shoot. I can see him right now, mamas. Where did you take us to? So it's sad that in this day and time, you can't even live where you really want to live because of stuff like that. And I know, yes, I know, we don't live in fear, but come on, let's be realistic. You in the sticks on an acre of land. The last thing I want to do is look out the window and see a burning cross and a bunch of dudes in some sheets. No. But it kind of frustrated me, and it's just like, why can't things just be so simpler? The house is beautiful, though. It was very nice. It had like a little playground set in there, and I was like, but it was too far away, though. Let's be realistic. Nobody wants to sit up here and be driving an hour away. Well, some people do it. They drive an hour to work and an hour home. I don't want to do that, especially if something goes wrong and it snows, or if the baby's not feeling good. You know what I mean? That's another thing too. And I'm just being realistic, especially, can I go straight? I'm just being realistic, especially as like a single mother, single parent. Yes, you want something nice and you want to go somewhere, but you have to, make sure that you have that type of support around you. Because if something happens, you're close enough that your mama's there, your parents are there, your cousins and stuff like that. That support system, you know what I'm saying? I asked my friend, and she said, you don't want to go out there. Your next door neighbors that have cornfields. I'm like, oh, good. But at the same token, too, as a mom, and especially if you're trying to look for certain things, you're looking at the school zones. Is this a good school zone? Because what I'm not going to have is my daughter going to school and fighting every day, because you got some children that don't know how to behave themselves because their mom and daddy didn't teach them how to behave. I'm not going to do that. If it was up to me, and I would really like it, I would like my daughter to be homeschooled or privately tutored, or you know what I'm saying, because the stuff that they're teaching in the schools are just wicked. So I gotta think positive that God is, hey, I'm talking now. So I got to keep positive and just know that, God is providing, and he knows the desires of my heart. So anyway, when I was sitting there and I was talking to Nana, she was saying things like she does see her father coming back around. I'm like, you really believe that? You really think that? Not that and I'm not saying that I'm doubting that my husband, because I've had dreams where he does come around. It's just that, I'm to the point where in life you got to move forward, because some people may not get it until later on. But it would be good for her to see her dad. But right now, it's just providing and just being realistic. Because I could I could move out to the country. You got fresh air, trees, blue skies and stuff. But then at the same time, I don't want to see no tornado, and I definitely don't want to see the Ku Klux Klan. No, I'm not trying to be around racist stuff. Like, I just, no, that's just a nightmare. And some people act like that don't exist, and it does exist. You know, you act like, oh, if you don't talk about it, it don't exist. No, it does exist. I just went ahead, and the crazy part about it, I went ahead and looked up this area. And as soon as I looked up the area, some boy was videotaping a bunch of people walking around with sheets over their head in front of a school. And then there was this thing where in those same areas that I'm looking at, it seems that the men in sheets were just putting flyers on people's lawns and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't even believe like this is on the outer skirts of DC. You know what I mean? But this is the reality. Like, you gotta really pick and choose where you're gonna go with you and your baby bird. You know? And I'm the type of person too. I like really nice stuff, so I want a big house. But then you gotta be like, how big? What type of guards you gonna have? What type of gates? Dogs. I'm gonna need an extra dog. Nah, but it's not living in fear, but it's just being very aware of your surroundings. And it was hard. It was when I spoke to one of the older ladies who's from that area. I asked her. I said, the Ku Klux Klan is down there, and she said, oh, you know, that's a small town. They not really there, but they're the next town over. Daggone it, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that's supposed to make me feel like, oh, well, you know, they just up the street. Nah. I said, nah, I ain't about to do that. I spoke to my grandmother. She, you know, older people like to give you the history of some things. Talking about, oh, that area over there is farmland, and it's just a little town. It's just a real small little town. And then talk about the Proctors are up there. I said, the Proctors? Isn't that the family that used to marry cousins or something like that? And you got majority of them that still have that bad name. I'm like, this is real country. Nah, let me, Lord, look. You get to the point, you just like, Father, you just go ahead and tell me what you want me to do. I just thank God we got a roof over our head right now. I just thank the Lord we got a roof over our heads right now. And so anyway, so I'm just, y'all, this is just talk. This is just random talk. So, like I said, my grandmother was like looking at Symphony. It was like, yeah, she's about to be 4. Yeah, I see her dad coming around. And I looked at her and I'm like, you really think that he's going to come back around to see? And she was like, yeah, I think that. It's only a matter of time. And she said, I think that his grandparents will too. I'm like, I was thinking like, yeah, right. I said, some people are too, well, I'm not saying yeah, right for my husband, but when she mentioned like my father, I said, some people too proudful. They feel like they did so much dirt, they don't even want to come around because they're too shameful. You know, but then never say never. Matter of fact, that's a song my husband did. Never say never. But anywho, so yeah, y'all, I was looking at this beautiful house. I said, oh, this is gorgeous. How far? It was too far. It's like, how far would you travel to get a peace of mind? I don't think it would be smart, especially if you got a baby and you going back and forth. Those are just things I was thinking of, you know. Tails, settle down. We're on our way, you know. So that was something. That was very interesting when she was like, oh, girl, you didn't know? And she was like, you didn't know that the Ku Klux Klan? I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? I thought they was dying off. Like, what's going on here? They teaching look, evil be trying to sprout its wings again. Trying to sprout its wings. And like I said, people be trying to act like that stuff don't exist. Where it exists in my world. See, and I'm just going to keep it real. See, a white woman can probably be like, oh, well, you know, I'm still going to go down there, you know. But I'm like, Ku Klux Klan, you talking about the same one with sheets that like to get ropes and hang people that are black? Heck no, I'm not going down there. That house started to look, I'm like, wait a minute. But it's unfortunate, but God knows, you know. But this is the reality. But most people don't talk about it. They'll just be like, never mind. But that's the type of stuff that's... Hey. Tiffany, what are you saying? You should be ready to you should be ready to go to bed and take a nap.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
What are you sorry about? But yeah, y'all. What else? Anything else interesting today? Oh yeah, but when y'all get a chance, make sure y'all go get you some B17. Make sure you put apricot seeds in your diet. And they found that a lot of people, I'm telling you, I'm going to upload the video because I want to share that wealth of knowledge when it's coming to your health. Because I want to be more health conscious of what I put in my system. What I put in my system and what I eat and stuff. I think we all need to be young and old. It don't even matter. Because the stuff they got in the food is to mess you all up. Mess us all up. You see what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we're healthy. So if you make sure you write down this. It's B as in boy, 17. Vitamins. Or apricot kernels. Mom's Organic Grocery Store sells them. I've been like really munching on them like I'm some daggone squirrel. I need all the nutrients I can get. And yesterday, and y'all, I'm just talking. Hold on. I want to know what's going on with you. You just settle down, you know? That's what you need to do. Settle down. You know what? Sometimes I wish I had a butler. I'd be like, Bentley, come and get us now. Wake me up when we get there. Sometimes I just wish the nanny called. Sometimes I wonder how it would have been if my husband was here, like parenting. And I'm not gonna lie, even sometimes, y'all, I be trying to figure out, because like not the other day, what was it the other day? A couple of weeks ago, not even weeks, maybe a couple of days ago, my daughter said like, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy. And I said, no, I'm Mommy. And sometimes I show her father's photo. But I'm like, I know she's going to get to the point where she's going to be asking me these questions. Like, where's my father at? You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm just praying before that happens, because I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to know how to, like, take that. But when she get old enough to talk, Like, cause I don't have her father's number. Her grandfather gonna have to explain it since he has a right mind frame. Your granddaughter would like to speak to you because I don't know what to say. Well, your dad stays up the corner. Well, I want to see. I don't know how that's going to go. But anyway, but sorry. There, something and did something for dads. This year, she got this little packet for her father too. And I'm not gonna lie, because I ended up seeing my dad for Father's Day, and we went out to eat stuffed meat symphony and her dad. And I'm gonna tell you something too. I think, not even think, the only male figures that's in my daughter's life. This is very sad when I say this. But she has no male figures in her life. I mean, and what I mean by that is like, when she goes to daycare, her daycare provider, there's a woman that's taking care of her. When she comes home, it's me, it's her aunt, and her other aunt comes get her. And my father, which is her grandfather, sometimes he may not see her for like maybe 6 months or 8 months, So when she saw her granddad, she was kind of like hiding her face, like, okay, who is this? And he was like, hey, and it kind of dawned on me, like, she doesn't really have male figures in her life. I know that her daycare provider, because Esmeralda, she has children, and she's married. So when her husband come, she hear them say Poppy or Daddy, and for the longest time she was saying that. And when she said to me, Poppy, Daddy, Daddy, and I said, no, I'm Mommy. And I gave her a picture of her father, and I was like, that's Daddy. And she kind of looked at the photo, she kind of smiled, and she went back on running, playing with her toys. One time she was on the balcony, and she was just yelling, Daddy, Daddy, like she was just saying the name. Like, I'm like, well, maybe she's just learning this name, Like, she knows to distinguish between Mommy and Daddy, But she's going to get to that age where she's just like, you're my mom, so where's my dad? And I'm gonna need to understand how, and ask God's guidance on how to even approach that. Because the last thing I want is if she want to reach out to her dad, is for her dad to try to reject her, or somebody be real nasty or really, really mean. I'm gonna tell you something. There is a off balance in a lot of the families out here, and I don't mean to sound like a Debbie Downer, but it's a lot of truth to it. Like, yes, the other day when me and my dad and all of us, we went out to eat, one thing I noticed, there was a lot of graduations that was going on. But I saw a lot of women that were sitting at a table. I didn't see too many men. I'm starting to notice this too. I don't know if it's me or it's going around, but I'm starting to notice a lot of family gatherings and there's not a lot of men. But I just think that there is a huge, it's, how can I say, for a child to only see one side, which is her mom, and don't see another side, which is her dad, or just doesn't have that daddy, mommy, this is my dad, this is my mom. And you know, my god sister, her and her folks, you know, they raised their baby, and this baby, which is my godchild, she knows her dad and she knows her mom. When she gets upset with her mom, she runs right to her dad. You know, that is a huge. That cannot be a star. What is that? And I just found it like, wow, you know, that her dad is there, and they know that feeling of having my mom and my dad. There's a off, I don't know. There is a offness when there's one or the other that's missing. Because like my next door neighbor, he has 2 daughters, but the mother's not there. But his father, which is the grandfather, and the grandmother, like, there to kind of help out. But as a father, because I remember meeting the mom, I don't know whatever happened to her. And so evidently, well, so that has to be an offset where you have your dad and your little girls, but you don't have your mom. I don't know. But y'all know what else I was thinking about the other day? I was thinking about my mom and my dad when they were in my life together when I was young. And I think I think around that time, I think I was 4. I don't know if I was in school. I don't know if I was 5. But I did something wrong where I ended up getting disciplined. I got a little whooping or whatever. It wasn't nothing crazy. But my father was the one who was disciplining me. And my father, when I was young, he would give us little taps. It was my mother that brung the whoopings, like, you knew not to do that again. But your father, my sister used to laugh it off with him, and he would just start laughing and forget to even discipline her. So I'll never forget this. My mother was in the room, like in the doorway, where my father was on a bunk bed, and my father was giving me a whooping, and I'm kicking and all this other stuff, right? So my father goes to walk away. I stick my, it's not funny. I stuck my tongue out at him like, you know how a kid would stick their tongue like, I'll show you for giving me this whooping. And my mother was like, your daughter just stuck her tongue at you. I couldn't believe my mother snitched on me. My father turned back around and gave me a whooping some more. I couldn't believe. He was like, oh yeah, you want to stick your tongue at me? But I was like, you know what made me think about that yesterday is because I thought about, like, my mother. Well, that was, you know, that's his wife, and they're one unit. So I would say she snitched on me, but I was wrong for doing that. But I was young. I had to be like maybe 4 or 5. I stuck my tongue out like, that still didn't hurt. My mother was like, your daughter just stuck her tongue at you. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh snap, you snitched on me. But needless to say, I knew not to stick my tongue at my dad. You know, But I started thinking about that because I started thinking like how they were a unit together, that even when it came to disciplining us, in which it was not abuse or anything like that, they were, it was something about both of them. And God saw me stick my tongue at my father. My mother saw it too and didn't let it fly. And it was just something about my mom and my dad. You know what I mean? When I was younger too, I was in fear growing up when they would start to argue that like they were going to both just up and leave. So I would say things back and forth to my mother like, Dad, Mommy said, I would say things, and I know it was the lie, but I would say things like, Daddy, Mommy said she loves you. And he said, oh, well, tell her I love her. And I would go back and like, Mommy, Dad said he loved you. Oh, tell him I'd just be going back and forth. Like, just going back and forth, just saying, she said and it was because it made it, how can I say? I felt that I was just doing something nice, like going back and forth, Mommy, and I remember being very young, but I remember feeling very secure that I had my dad and my mom. I remember feeling that feeling like it was times my dad had to go to my field trip. And it's sad because it's like I don't think my daughter is going to be able to have that, just like you have a bunch of daughters out here that don't have that. And I thank God I was able to experience that when I was younger, because there was a gap in between when my father did leave. There are some kids out here that are fatherless and motherless, but of course God takes that all. But let's be honest in what God intended for it to be, for a mother and a father. And when you speak to someone and their parents are still together, that's all they ever known was this mom and this dad. They weren't like a lot of others who their mom and dad had to have this talk and say we're separating and going our own ways. I think it's selfish. I think it's so freaking selfish. Like, some people like they gotta be happy too. It's like, well, I'm like, what, being happy with what? Someone else? Dysfunction, because it does. It does affect your children. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know my daughter's at the age, she doesn't look at every man and think, oh, those are dads, because I've heard kids call these male looking people dads, you know what I mean? I know that's my mom. And then sometimes I wonder if she's ever going to meet her father or never. But that's just, y'all, this is just random talk. I'm just talking. I'm just talking, whatever. And some people just feel like they can just pay their children off. Like, I give you money every month. Like, that's support. No. Because parents help mold their children. And there's something about a male figure and a father figure, not even just a father and a mother. You can see the strength and the weaker vessel, the love. You can see those both structures, and I told you the other day, when the pastor had asked that question, it was like, are you not married? And then he just jumped right into it. I'm like, yes. And then he was like, does he see his child? I'm like, what? I've been coming up in here all the time. Like, no, he doesn't see her. Then it was, oh. I'm like, look, I'm over that. So we're supposed to be talking about this water. I mean, not what I mean by saying I'm over that is that I understand my situation. You see what I'm saying? I've learned to deal with it. What can you do? You can't make people do certain things, and just thank God that everybody involved is still alive, you know? I'm sorry, y'all. I sound so tired because I am tired. Oh, we gotta go to church tomorrow. Oh, we made it home. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. And I gotta take my dog out. My faithful dog. Eyes. Oh my goodness. And then you know what else I think of too, y'all? I'm like, she's growing so big. Like I remember when my baby was. All right, y'all. I'm back now. I'm walking my solo. What in the world? Are they waiting for people to pull up? Yeah, well, anyway, I'm waiting for people to pull up. Look, I'm waiting for, you know I'm tired. Come on, Solo, you got to follow me. You got to follow me. That's my Solo. That's my faithful dog right there. Oh, one thing, anyway, like I was saying, y'all, and I'm tired. So if I sound like slurred or something, it's because I'm tired. As soon as I get in the house, I'm gonna get our things ready for church in the morning because I gotta go to church. I'm asking God, I got to be on time. I've been late. I've been like Miss Lateness walking up in there. The last time I was just late. But what was I about to say? Oh, you know what? The best babysitters. Well, I can't say they're really those who are good with children. But my grandmother, my nana, I would call my nana just to check up on Cynthia and be like, "How's Cynthia doing?" She'd be like, "Oh, you know, she just went ahead and took a nap, and I told her how to draw a stick person." She said I told her the circle, the dot eyes. She'd give you detail for detail. Then she ate a banana, and then you know what she said? You know, when she decided to go to sleep and lay down, she had all her toys with her. And then she said, you know what? This is too many toys. So she started kicking her dolls like, I don't want that one. So when I tell you my grandmother gave me detail for detail, even from the stuff she ate, when the time she went to the potty, telling her she did a good job, to the movie she was looking at and how she was laughing. I mean, just gave me detail. I felt like I was there. And let me tell you something, I appreciate that because when you're at work, you're missing all of the little things they do. Hold on. You really are. You missing everything. So I enjoy when I hear like all of the little stuff that she's doing. And I enjoy too that my baby get a chance to enjoy her great grandmother. Solo, I'm gonna get you some nice good old bones. Now you see, y'all, let me show you how old Solo looks. Solo. She's like, Mamas, don't you see I'm doing me right now? I'm trying to show y'all his gray beard. Anyway, y'all, so yesterday I went jogging. Somebody grilling out here. You got the burgers on the grill. Yesterday I went jogging. with Symphony and her little jogging stroller, and I bought these little. They look like little strobe lights, and they kind of blink when you jogging. I end up hurting my knee, so I said we gonna cut this short and go to the playground. Come on, Solo, please, honey. Solo be like, let me tell you something. You had me in there waiting. Let me do me. But anyway, y'all. So that was a real. I love when my grandmother watches her because she always gives me like detail of like everything. She and she was so amazed that she taught her how to draw a stick person, and my daughter actually drew it. You can see the drawing too, where it just looks real scribbled like, but you can tell it's a stick person with two dotted eyes. Um, but yeah, come on, Solo, come on now, come on. Sometimes I really hate going to this trash can. Because one time it was this huge raccoon that was just like, hey, what you got there? Oh man, it's a real beautiful night tonight. I don't know if y'all can see them stars out here. But anyway, y'all, so I'm just literally just talking. But yeah, so make sure y'all get whatever. Make sure y'all get y'all some B17s. Go get you some apricot seeds and start putting that stuff in your body, because and I'm gonna upload that documentary, because there is people be like, oh, you're on this conspiracy thing. No, there's a huge money making business off of cancers and tumors and sicknesses, and God has given us the antidote. And there are evil people out here, man. Like the devil is holding seeds hostage. They even, I mean, when you really think about it, when you go get an apple now, if it's not a natural apple, like a seedless apple, like they try to take seeds from everything. I mean, what really got me is when I found out that they were finding farmers for reusing seed. They put a patent on seed. How the heck do you put a patent on seed? That's just like when Sean Carter, or whatever the heck his name is, try to put a patent. I think he did put a patent on the color blue. Like, how do you do something like that? You say, hey, you guys, you can go ahead and plant as many apple trees as you want, but when the apple falls, you can't use those seeds to replant. You have to come back to me to get the seed. That's some selfish stuff. I mean, it's just the same way where, in New York and in certain places, they will fine you if you have your own little garden. Like, who does that? Selfish, evil people. And they'll be the same ones, the same doctors that's like, no, you don't need to take these seeds that's going to kill your cancer. You need to do chemotherapy so you can make us rich. And then the crazy part about it was so many people who gave their testimonies about taking B17 and eating apricot seeds and how it eliminated their cancer. And I'm like, this is like freaking crazy. You know how many loved ones passed away because of this? And y'all been holding on and trying to suppress the truth. It is so bad that literally, I mean, you have to go online and try to get B17, but most sites that you go to, it's like they banned it, trying to say that if you eat too many apricot seeds, it's poison. But they don't have any study of anyone ODing or dying from it. But yet they did all of these studies from back in the 60s and found out that this thing actually attacks and kills cancer. They just did one on cervical cancer, and when they used B17, it just eliminated it. It just killed the cancer, but it didn't do any harm to the body. And I'm like, why are people with holiness. Oh, I get it. Because the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah, that was one of those things I looked up today. But I'm going to upload the video because I would really like to share it with those and encourage everyone to like be more health conscious of your body, start working out, eating good, and putting great things in your body. And if they're banning it, they're banning it for a reason, and it's not because, oh, we want you, we just fear that you're gonna OD off some apricot seeds. We don't want you to have this B17 because if the truth gets out, they're not gonna make their money. Isn't that bad? So anyway, I was speaking to a person who, like I said, they just found out that they was diagnosed with the C word. And I said, he said, you know what I had? I said, I'm not claiming that. And you don't claim it either. But that was in front of everybody. I didn't get a chance to really speak to the person and be like, just take these and just, you know, don't, it's not over until God says it. Right? It's not over till the Lord says it. Oh, man. I'm so tired. But I still got much to do. Yes, make sure y'all get some apricot seeds. I'm trying to tell you, I found out they sell them at Mom's organic store. I went right up in there, then went right back and got me another bag. I want all the good stuff. And also too, it's not good to eat processed food. Like, you gotta really be, and that's another thing too. I'm not venting, I'm just talking. See, when you work 8 hours a day and you have other chores to do when you get home, you have to be very careful, because the things that we used to take our time with doing, like cooking a really good meal with real vegetables and herbs and stuff like that. But instead, what we're doing now, we're running for the fast foods. And I'm guilty of it. McDonald's, Wendy's, pizza. We got to have it really quick, and then try to add a little vegetable on the side that's processed. That's why I'm really like looking into like country. I need to be around where there's more oxygen in the air, because this 5G and these daggone new cell towers, a lot of people are gonna be fried walking next to it, and I need some good cells. You know, not some. I need all my cells to be good, generating good cells. You know what I mean? So it's going to get to a point that people are not going to be city bumpkins. They really going to be like, nah, I don't. That's why I was thinking like I could drive that drive just to make sure I have that that level of living. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got that level of some people say farm, what is it, country. But you know what? You may need to go country. I mean, everybody going green now, right? Everybody's trying to get that organic stuff now, right? No GMOs. Because now you realizing there's too many things out here that's messing us up. And when you really look at it, it's the diet, it's the frequencies, it's the negative, it's an unhealthy lifestyle that's messing you up. You wondering, what's this feeling? I never had this feeling in my legs before. And it don't mean when you hit 30 or 40, because some of y'all feeling it now at 20. Like I said, those of us in our 30s and 40s, 50s, and 60s, We can tell you what organic used to taste like. Now the average 20-year-old don't know what that really, because y'all so used to this Mickey Mouse food. I'm just saying, we all need to eat healthy, and it's an injustice that we're being sick, or this stuff has been shoved down our throats. Another thing too, I just got me a daggone bill in the mail, and it was a ticket from Washington D.C. D.C. is highway robbery, $100 ticket on a highway, and if I don't pay it, and I'm trying to figure out which way did I go that I was going so fast. Anywho, talking about if I don't pay it, they're gonna double it to 200. Well, I'm gonna have to pay that real quick. Tickets, snickets. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I thought, like, when I first tried to fight that ticket when I was driving my father's car, I was like, Your Honor, something's wrong with the machine. There was no human that pulled me over. This is just a computer error. Do you have any proof of that? Yes, I'm human and it's not. Needless to say, I still had to pay the ticket, but she went ahead and waived any little late fees. But still, that wasn't good enough. You can't even, somebody can take a picture of you and say, oh, you was doing this. And you can say, no, I wasn't. Yes, you were, because our cameras. But your cameras are not human, so it could be a glitch still. It wasn't a glitch before. It's like you really choose a camera over a vehicle that's moving, that you say is moving 60 miles an hour, and I could have been going 47 miles an hour, but it's your word against my word because you have a computer that's not moving along with me, but it's just so happened to take a picture. Yet the picture is not in motion. A picture can say 1,000 words, but your proof is just to say, pay the ticket. Charges to the game. I don't feel like crying and fussing and losing, whatever. Just make sure I keep my Waze app on, since this is how you guys are going. I think every new vehicle needs to have a built-in, a little mileage thing to see how fast you're going. Kind of detect when somebody or something is trying to say. That's all it is a setup. This is a setup. You see, your whole thing is not to come up with a conclusion of how to make sure that people don't drive fast. Because if that was the issue, then the car itself will have something automatically in it to make it to make it, what's the word I want to use? To, you know what I'm saying? To put on the brakes, pretty much. You don't come up with, you just say, hey, this makes us a lot of money. Look how much we made off of this. Yeah, that's set up cameras everywhere. And then what you going to do when you're not getting paid any money for it? You're going to come up with something else. But you need to make sure you get money for it. So that's why you hide the cameras. You hide them secretly inside of peanut corns and acorns on trees. And say, we caught you, we caught you, we caught you. You have to pay $500 to us now. And if we catch you on our streets, we're going to put a boot on your car. And if you don't pay this within 30 days, we're going to double it to $1,000. Excuse me? It's the same thing with the whole cancer thing. You don't want to tell nobody. You see people going to their deathbeds and their graves. Everybody get paid off of this person dying. And nobody going to say, take some B-17 and call it a day. What do you, no. First thing you do is you ban it. You guys are crackos for thinking that this stuff can work. Oh, don't even look at it. Look, y'all, we need to ban this real quick before the public get hip to it. Huh? Same thing with court. The judge get paid. The lawyer gets paid. Everybody gets paid off of your misery, your sadness, your family well-being. It's a setup. But anyway, on a happy note, now that you do know that it's a setup, I know one day I'm going to think I won't be taking that road no more. You won't get my coins. And I'll be popping a lot of apricot, I'm tired. Apricot seeds and B17s. Come on, Solo. That's what I'm going to be doing. Come on, boy. All right, I took Solo for a good walk. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all, I'm back. But look, when you get a chance, please look up the documentary on, I think it's called The Cure for Cancer, or I forgot the name, B17. And this, it's just shocking how people will go to the extent of making sure you die. Or they will go to the extent from taking away this information. And you have some people that's just like, no, this is not true. But there are studies they have done. There are people to this day that give you testimonies because of the natural treatment of just eating the apricot seed and taking B17. Some people say, oh, well, this is this, but that's just to throw people off. But those who took it and actually give you testimonies, it's literally like murder. It's like you spend trillions of dollars trying to, they don't spend trillions of dollars. They say they spend and put money of billions, if millions, of trying to come up with a cure, and you already knew what it was. It was B17, but what you did was you made it illegal for people to. People worked for Facebook, and their job was to make sure and block anyone who was trying to put violent content up on uploaded. And some of these people have been dying because of the anxiety and the things that they see. You see someone who murdered a puppy, and this guy was saying how they did all of this crazy mess. I don't even want to repeat it because just reading it made me visualize it, and I can see how this guy was in shock because he used to work for a veterinarian and he loved animals, and to see people do the most hideous crimes and they upload it. And a lot of people do that. This is the wickedness that we live in, is that there are people who hide behind a computer, but they are possessed and they are evil people. They dare not say the things in your face, but they say them on computer. And it's just the same way as it's not what a man put in his mouth, but what you say out of your mouth. The heart talks. Is what you put down on it. This is what's coming out of your heart. And so people secretly don't show their faces, but they show these hideous crimes. And I remember one time I was pregnant, and I was waiting to have, I think I was pregnant with Symphony, or was it Harmony? I think it was Symphony. And I looked on Facebook, and this lady took a newborn baby, and she held the baby by the arms, like as if it was two arms together, but she was holding them in one hand. And she dipped the baby inside of the bucket and was twirling the baby around. And the baby was crying so hard. And it was a newborn baby. And I still can't undo that memory. And to make matters worse, I can tell that the baby was in pain because of the way that this newborn baby was crying. I broke down crying. I was crying so hard and I was so upset, and my husband was like, "Babe, what's wrong?" And I was just like, I just couldn't breathe, and he was telling me to calm down, and he had to tell me, "Don't look at it. Don't look at that stuff anymore." I couldn't believe, and I'm gonna tell you something. I was so mad at that video that was posted on Facebook. And I didn't understand why people couldn't get the IP address, because this lady was literally abusing a newborn baby. It doesn't matter, you know. And I looked in the background and I could tell that this woman stayed in a very fancy house. People think that these beautiful houses are so gorgeous and all these people that live here or whatever. This was a master bathroom that she was in, and she was doing the most hideous thing. But anyway, the whole purpose of me saying that is because of what I saw. It kind of like paralyzed me to the point where I almost couldn't breathe. That my husband literally told me, "Don't look at you can't look at it," you know. So getting back to what I was trying to say, not trying to sound depressing, is that you literally have to watch what you look at. Solo, out. You really have to watch what you look at, even that, because it can be very upsetting. It can be very singing on a singing, folks against the window, singing on a singing, dun, dun, dun. Hey, I love you, Symphony. Yeah, so needless to say, it tells you, and the thing is too, is that you don't want to worry yourself about what's going on in this world, because you'll tire yourself and you can get real sick and you'll have a lot of grief and sorrow. We always have to look at the positive and great things and things that we can do in this world to impact the lives of other people in a positive way. You know, you can bring warning to people. You know, you can warn people. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to warn people, right? But what we don't want to do is we don't want to get stuck on the sadness and evil of everything. Like there's just no hope, because Jesus is everything to us. Like he is the way, he is the light, he's the truth. And God says, "Vengeance is mine," says the Lord. I'm going to tell you something. After I saw that video of what that lady did, I literally was trying to see if I can even find out who that person was. And it was sad that it was uploaded, so I can understand why people who try to protect there are people on the internet that's trying to block certain things, and these people commit suicide or they die of heart attacks and things because this is what you're seeing all the time, is this negative stuff. That's the worst type of job to have. Is a job where it's worse than being a warden for a jail or a guard for a jail. Because in that you have order, and what you're doing is you're blocking things that's so demonic and so evil that when your eyes see it changes your outlook on your perspective on certain things and people, and it can become so sad. That's why you don't look at. You don't need no bubble scales. You don't need no bubbles. It's too late for bubbles. It's too late for bubbles. You hungry? It's too late for that too, you know. Let me get your stuff together. Symphony, you're not gonna blow bubbles tonight, honey. That's not gonna happen. Let me go, because I gotta still get this stuff out of the car. But anyway, like I was saying, hold on. Oh, man. But like certain things you just can't look at. That's why I don't understand how some people can stomach horror movies. But then I can't sit up here and act like I used to not be one of them horror movie junkies that was on a thrill for just getting a good scare and look good scare, like a good evil. They don't even sound right. No, because it does something. It really does. So anyway, getting back to what I was trying to say is that you need to make sure that you take care of your temple, fill it with the Holy Ghost, work out, eat healthy, get you some B17 and a King James Version Bible. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, and rest good, I know friends that's dealing with anxiety issues. I'm like, what you look at? Have you been looking at scary movies? Yeah, I look at scary. Stop looking at scary movies. But I don't think it's scary movies. Where you think you're getting that from? If you're looking at cartoons all day, you probably not gonna get too much stuff. You know what I mean? If you're looking at I'll be looking at a lot of cartoons now that I have a child. I notice my anxiety is not, well, I don't have anxiety, but I notice that when I'm looking at positive things and I'm listening to positive things and I'm reading the Word of God, or you know what I'm saying? When you're listening to positive, feel good music, you feel good. You just feel real good. You just feel good. You're not thinking like, but you sitting up here looking at Dawn of the Dead and zombie movies with guts flying all over the daggone place, and oh my gosh, you looking at some daggone conjuring up demon who been messing with Ouija boards and people not able to get rid of something that's so evil. Your heart is just, now you go to bed, you feeling unease, have to keep on a nightlight talking about, I think I got anxiety. I wonder why. Stay away from those evil movies. I remember everybody was talking about that daggone Bird Box mess. I said, let me see about this. I couldn't even watch that. It didn't fit right with my spirit. I said, I'm not about to allow the devil to come. Nah. Don't look at things that are just not beautiful or not glorifying God. You got to go back to PG-13 when you were young. Remember when you were young and your parents wouldn't allow you to look at certain things? Remember? They would. I remember when before they even, they had cable back in the day when the movie came out, it'd be on cable. But now you got to prepay just to see the movie. Or, this is not the same. But anywho. Remember they used to say viewer discretion is advised, and their viewer discretion was in nowhere near the stuff they playing today. Now you liable to catch a daggone heart attack looking at some crazy stuff on TV. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just talking all over the world. All I'm saying is keep healthy, be healthy, have healthy thoughts. Don't look at scary things. Of course, a positive attitude. Keep it real, though. Don't lie. Stay away from evil stuff. Anyway, y'all.